Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Talking Parish League. I'm your host, Leroy John Baptist, and extending a warm welcome to you once again to another informative and interactive program. And today, we're going way back. We're going way back into the Parish League circuit, where our guests will be taking us back, as I understand, way back into the 1950s, 60s era, and so we will get a little bit of that as time goes on. Also, we're here with our executive producer, Mr. Mark Charles, and also our co-host, Mr. Taddy Arundel, and we also have Auden, our apprentice, as he's going to fit in for Mark when Mark is not around, and so we just want to big up our backroom staff for their continued effort. Before we go any further, let us recognize our platinum sponsor, ACB Caribbean, Simply Smarter Banking. And they have been with the Parish League circuit for well over 43 years, and so we want to say thank you to the folks at ACB Caribbean for their continued support of the Parish League program. Also, we want to say thank you to Brands for Less, Carol and her team right there at Brands for Less. That's just on the High Street opposite the Old Deluxe Cinema. You can't miss it. There's a wide variety of products there for you, whether you're looking for electronics, clothing, footwear. I think I see even sanitizing products there. So whatever it is you're looking for, just be sure to visit Carol and her team right there at Brands for Less. If you didn't get that Father's Day present already, come on, you can go there. It's not too late. Every day should be Father's Day. Go and get something right there at Brands for Less. Carol and her team, they'll take good care of you. Let them know that you heard this on the Talking Parish League show. And also, we want to give thanks to the folks at Digicel, the bigger, better network. For all of your internet and connectivity needs, be sure to check them out there at Digicel, the bigger, better network. And also Pell, Plumbing Electrical Limited, for all of your plumbing and electrical needs. Be sure to check them out there. Ahmad and his team just at the corner as you're just about to exit Potters and get into the Herberts area, just before you get to the Transport Board entrance. Just before there, you'll see Plumbing Electrical Limited, for you can get all of your plumbing and electrical gears right there. All right, and we also, housekeeping matters, we want to continue to ask everyone to keep Mr. Crazy Rose in your prayer. I understand he's not doing too well, and we do pray that the Lord will continue to put his healing and touching hands on him. And also, I guess this is what Taddy will speak a little bit on this we also want to extend condolences to the family and friends of the late Austin Edwards. I understood he passed away last week, Friday, I think it was, and so I know he would have been dear to quite a lot of folks in the whole Parish League cricketing circles in Antigua, and so on behalf of the Parish League team, we want to extend our sympathies there. And to anyone who is listening to the program who may not be feeling too well, we do extend get well wishes to you and hope that you'll feel a lot better even after this show, as we're going to take you down memory lane. We're going way, way back. And just before I bring in Taddy, we got to congratulate New Zealand. They are the World Test Champions, defeating New Zealand, India yesterday by 8 wickets or so, and so New Zealand becoming the inaugural World Test Champions. And Taddy boy, we didn't do too well. We get a 2-0 whitewash there. West Indies really struggling. Don't know what we can do, but Taddy, good afternoon. How was your Father's Day?
Great man. My dad and my wife took me to Shirley. I had to go out, and I tried my best not to go, but I've been gone, man. It was great. Really took great care of me, you know.
Well, I'm happy to hear that.
But concerning my good friend Austin Edwards, I just learned of it yesterday, you know. I mean, I was just passing yesterday when it was Johnny Harbour. His son called me to inform me, you know. And he was my neighbor for 40-something years in Gambles. But before that, he was this umpire, stalwart, you know, man who made his contribution greatly to cricket, man. Not so much Parish League, but cricket. A decent gentleman, kind, real loving guy, man, who didn't do this thing for money. He did this thing for the love of country and development of cricket in Antigua. So, like I said, John, earlier, before the show started, next week, we're having a show entirely to talk about Austin Edwards and his contribution, you know. And so far, I've got Viv and Gene Gould to come on the show next week to talk about Mets, you know.
Come with some heavy hitters there, man.
Well, I don't know if they're heavy, you know, but they're good hitters. You know,
I'm gonna tell them what they say when they come now.
Well, Viv knows Jimmy Gravy anyway, so you know about it, you know what I mean? But Gene, we are very good friends, you know, like you know John anyway.
Yes, yes.
So I'm trying to get Andy and some older folks who would have played with us that was in the maybe late 50s, early 60s, that kind of way, you know. So I'm deciding to be buried next week Thursday afternoon, which is not so good for me and us, you know. But hey, Austin was a great man, and we must recognize his contribution to the development of cricket in Antigua. Now, John, it's our New Zealand defeated England, India, but I don't know why they put a match like that in England, to be honest with you. Condition in England, hey, I was wet, I was something in the game we know something. You know, I don't know why I see you to put the game in England. I don't know, I couldn't find any other venue but England, man. You know, the cricket New Zealand won, but you couldn't even enjoy the game. Never made the way and stop playing, no game. To me, that's a waste of time. But hey, New Zealand happy because they won the game, and hey, that's what they wanted to do anyway. And they got a good payout to John, 1.6 million. It wasn't a bad payoff, you know. And the losing team get 800,000 US money, you know. So I don't think it was bad. It was a bad payoff for this. The idea was good, though, John, but I don't like how they arrive at this. Two teams in the finals and the bonus. But I can tell you why the John didn't understand how they get there, you know. Because of what he said after that. You know, he said after that, John, well, we got 2-0 whitewash. And they whitewash a red wash, you know, but some kind of wash. But John, you know, that doesn't surprise me. You know, I think about West Indies. Tell you so long. When the guy's not good, then you just believe that those guys they pull out some miracle all the time, and they're just not good enough, John. And I keep telling you, John, you're as good as we play against, and that's part of the problem. Because I saw the coach with some story in the newspaper the other day, talking about the players were well prepared. But I'm kind of baffled. I wondered, in about 2 months ago, to beat up Bangladesh and play so well against Sri Lanka. I didn't hear nobody complain about preparation. So all of a sudden, preparation not good. So I just don't understand it. All of a sudden, preparation not good. He said players not good enough against the better bowling. That's what you should be saying, John. Guys, West Indies team right now. Like I'll tell you, you so love them because they play 2020 cricket. But Test cricket is real cricket. Just like India find out yesterday. When they play Test cricket, when the edge ball plenty man slips to catch you out. When we play 2020, edge plenty once. Usually, John. But when you play 2020, John, when the edge ball should slip and it runs every clap.
Taddy, I didn't tell you anything about 2020. I tell you about Test cricket. Wait about 2020.
Yeah, I tell you that's the problem that you have. You lose out to 2020, and I keep telling you, John, when you play Test cricket, edge in Test cricket is usually out there to drop you. But 2020 edge, people clap, yeah, boy, plenty once. But John, he doesn't work in Test cricket. And they told you last week, you know, the guy named Bolt, the first last match he played and so on against, first they bowled 23 overs, and the next day they say stiff, and they told him, 23 overs in 2020, that's almost 6 matches he don't play. 6 matches in one leg a day. So I would say, John, Test cricket is not this nonsense side of 2020. Test cricket is a true test. True test of skill.
Well, I think it's a true test, as you said, Taddy, and I think one of the things we saw is that one of the innovations we saw in this test match, there was a reserve day, which actually helped to get a result out of this test. So, you know,
John,
we gotta get
if New Zealand win the game, John, you know what happened? They were crying for 2 reserve, they were 3. The guy in England, I was guaranteeing is going to win. So I don't know what to put a game in England for. England, nice way to cricket when the weather is good. But you know, at best, when the weather going to be iffy.
When you say when the weather is good, what do you mean?
Well,
I mean,
my guest here, Mr. Mullin, who is our feature guest today, he said something a while ago that I'm glad he went there. Like, here he said to me a while ago, when is the weather going to be good in England? So we introduced Mr. Mullin now, my good friend Zephaniah. This is one of the guys who played cricket in Antigua in the 60s and maybe 50s, who was one of the better players in Antigua, who never got to play Charles Play for Antigua because he was from the countryside. He is from the village of Bowlands. And he heard me just said a while ago, the weather. And he has a concern about the weather in England. So, Zephaniah, and the guy knows Zephaniah, everybody knows Mullin.
Yes.
So, Mullin, you tell the people about yourself.
Well,
how you started the cricket career and all that.
Well, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I started when Rising Sun, they have a team, Rising Sun came to Bowlings and asked me to play for them. And I said, okay. They brought me a limousine.
What's a limousine? What do you mean?
It was only one limousine in Antigua at the time.
And you got a treatment?
I'm sorry.
I just wanted to hear the story. I wanted to hear.
I'm telling you the truth. Go ahead. The truth. It was one limousine in Antigua at the time, and at the time, they have a wedding, and they decided not to go to the wedding to come and get me in Bowlings to play for Rising Sun.
Mr. Mullin.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry for interjecting, but maybe before we get there, because there has to be some preamble to how that would happen. So we need, before we get to this limousine, because they canceled the wedding to pick you up.
They didn't cancel the wedding.
Well, cancel the pickup for the wedding.
Right.
To pick you up.
To pick me up to play for Rising Sun.
To play for Rising Sun.
Yes.
What year are we speaking about, Mr. Mullin?
It's about 61, 60, 61.
60, 61. Okay, tell you what, I'm going to be respectful. I'm going to let you finish your story, and then I'm going to have to take you back to see how we get
When you
there.
say respectful, what do you mean?
No, I was going to cut you off, but in terms of trying to preamble. But go ahead, finish your story about the limousine and how you got to Rising
What
Sun.
John means, how you so good and want to pick you up? Where did you so before?
I was the best we could keep in Antigua at the time. I was better than Earl Michael.
Okay.
I was at least the 5 best batsmen in Antigua at the time.
Mark.
No, you got limousine service.
Yeah. Mark. Mark, you got to put up that photo again. Put up that photo again of Zephaniah. Put up that photo again of Mr. Mullin so our guests, our viewers can see Mr. Mullin in his whites.
That's me. Nobody wanted to bowl to that guy there.
Nobody wanted to bowl to that.
People say, oh God, Mullin to come. I'm serious, guys. I'm serious. I'm serious.
You want it.
Guys, I'm walking to the wicket and guys said, oh God, Mullin to come.
You saw the which was
right. Okay.
Taddy, I'm a bit disappointed, and we didn't say anything. Maybe we're going to say it a bit later, but I know we're trying to get our call-in aspect of the program going. And I would have this would have been a real opportunity
Some guys
to hear these.
Here, believe me, you don't have enough time to people call here, especially the Virgin Islands. I swear, guys.
Okay.
Because this is where after they didn't pick me, the people from the Virgin Islands sent me a ticket to come to the Virgin Islands.
No.
When I didn't get picked for Antigua, the guys in the Virgin Islands, my cousin Fergus Jones, sent me a ticket to come and play for St. Thomas.
Okay, Mr. Mullin, you're really building this thing up, you're building up this thing with a lot of energy. I'm going to go back now. So Rising Sun sent the limousine for you.
One limousine, at the time only one.
The only limousine, and that was scheduled for you. That wedding had to wait.
Yes, and the wedding call off because they come and get me.
Ladies and gentlemen, we the studio with Mr. Zephaniah Mullin.
And I can tell you,
Go ahead, Mr.
the
Mullin.
guy that used to drive the limousine was what do you got? Tim Phelan, sister, what the guy name? If anybody know about Tim Phelan, Francis, his name was, I think his name was Francis, but he did drive for the company. And Tim Phelan used to Tim Phelan have kids with his sister. And he's the one that come and get me.
Okay, so the limousine came for you, and you would have made your grand.
But look at here, look at here. When I came in, they told me that I couldn't play the first match. I had to go play second test. So instead of me going and play first class cricket, when I came in, they took me from there, the same limousine, to West Bus Station.
King George.
Okay.
And then, this is where I get out over the bound for 90, I make 90, 95. They catch me over the bound, which what the guy named, the umpire or Ducks, give me out. The guy talking to the scorer and catch the ball and give me out.
And Ducks gave you out?
Give Duck to give me out. Duck give me out. But the guy, when I get to find out, the lady was asking the guy, where this guy from? Because she was a scorer.
Yeah.
And it was remember, this was a school team. They took me from right to Sun Ground, take me to
King George.
King George.
King George to play. I think the captain was the guy that drink the fluid.
Tickle. In-
Me and him, we almost have 200 runs. We opened, and at the time, I have 95. When I hit the next ball, would have been make me 101. The guy talking to the umpire, to the scorer, turn around to get the ball, and
by Ducks.
Duck give me, yeah.
But how the man was in how you know he was in the field?
Talking to the scorer. How can you be on the score? How can you be on the field when you're talking to the scorer?
Well,
The same ball I just hit, that go all the way. As a matter of fact, the ball that he went to get went all the way to the ceiling.
yeah.
I swear to God, it run through. It's a little house used to be there. I don't know if
I'm
you
afraid,
there.
yeah.
The ball hit, run through this, run across the street, go into the water. The guy go and get the ball and come back, and the scorer when I come out, because I understand she was asking the scorer where he's from, and he was telling her, he told her to get the ball, and the doctor get me out. Now, if I'm not talking out of limit, look here. It's not the first time. I get caught and prevent, what do you call it? Run the field. What do you call that?
Which field?
The field, recreation.
Oh, recreation grounds.
I get caught in the sand pitch. And the duck give me up.
Ducks again?
So, Ducks have it out for you, man.
Ducks again?
Duck, the same ducks. Remember, the sand pitch is a sand pitch, the 6 runs. Ducks give me out, and I remember the guy, I remember the guy that kicked the ball in the sand pitch. And, you know, my buddy, man, Clem Francis.
Francis, yeah, my body too.
You know.
Well, now you mentioned Clem Francis. Debbie Hurst is asking, did you play with Clem Francis and Adolphus Freeland?
And,
Adolphus Freeland.
Adolphus Freeland. Did you play with them?
yes.
Yes, okay.
As a matter of fact, Freeland at one time, he didn't want to see me. The first time I met Freeland, he was not Freeland, he was somebody else.
Wait. So who he was?
Huh?
What was he? Who was he? What do you mean?
Well, after I finished with him, he
Wait, you finished your banging book?
No. Listen.
Wait a minute. You see, if y'all don't get to back and know who you're talking to, you're gonna have a problem. My name is Mullin, and when them guys come to play for me, I will tell you something else. Winston Soames, he said I was the best batsman in Antigua. Winston Soames.
That's a lot of credit.
He told his brother, Dan Soames, when you see this guy, say Mr. Mullin.
Yeah?
I swear to God. And before Dan meet, at least Dan here, Dan Soames meet me in New York. And Dan Soames, what? I didn't remember him. He walked up to me, he said, Mr. Mullin. And when I look around, it was Dan Soames. And he said, my brother said, when I see you, said, Mr. Mullin.
Mr. Mullin?
So, what the lady said, what? What the lady?
You played with
No, she wanted to know if you played with Adolphus Freeland and Clem Francis.
Yes, well, as a matter of fact, Clem Francis was my captain at one time.
Okay. And you changed Adolphus Freeland name?
Is that changed what?
You said when you met him, he wasn't Freeland.
No, I played against,
Freeland.
no, I played against, Francis.
Clem Francis,
Clem
right?
Francis. But, you're talking about Freeland?
Yeah, Adolphus.
Well, after I finished reading, you want to change the name. Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, he wanted to change his name. Look, we have to start over this show. No. Charlie, we have to start over this show. We have to start over this show. Let me say good afternoon. We have Mama and Herbert from St. Croix watching. Good to have you. George Ferris in the house. Good to have you, George. Carol, good to have you. Carol is begging. Carol says to bring back Mark Charles. Mark will be back. Don't worry, Carol. Mark will be back. Mr. Mullin, and just doing a little preamble, Taddy told me you're from the village of Boland.
Bonus, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's just go back a bit, because I think we need to understand this greatness, this awe that you brought to the stage. Just tell us a little bit about what it was like. I guess it would be in the 1950s for you. What it was like growing up, 50s, 60s, what it was like growing up in the village of Boland, you know, what you guys used to do. Nowadays children are playing Xbox and all kind of thing. What was it like in your days growing up in the village of Boland? What was life like?
Wow. Well, you see, I started in Jennings. Okay? I started in Jennings Village. And at the time, we used to, this is how I started to keep, because at that time, we didn't have gates and stuff like that. So we used to take our hat off and keep with our hat. But the place was so small next to the wicket, nobody wanted to keep. And we used to play with that ball that bunks. If you drop it, it bunks all the way up there.
Golf?
The golf ball?
Mm-hmm.
Sponge ball?
It was another ball, not golf. It's another
Not the sponge.
rubber, it's like a rubber.
A sponge ball, a hard
sponge?
sponge, yeah.
And if you drop it, they jump up there.
Yeah.
And that's what we used to play with. And nobody wanted to keep. And that's how I learned how to keep. Because you catch the ball, it kill you. Because it's right there. You can't go nowhere.
Right.
And that's how I started to learn how to keep. And then I moved to Boland's, where I couldn't get to play because Boland's was so high in cricketers. You have a guy named Restream. It was just me and him. If anybody that the guys who were late or whatever, they give us a play, but we could get a game because bowlers were so hard at the time. And this about like you was asking me whatever.
I was just trying to, just to run through what was life like. We had persons sitting here, they talk about they had to play cricket, they still had to go and tend to the animals, to the farm. I was just trying to get a little feel of what it was like for you growing up as a young boy and in the community, just before we get into the cricket itself, because you have a lot with this cricket, so we wanted to build up that momentum and then we just go take off.
Well, after I went to Bowlings, I really established cricket a little more higher, and then I started playing more cricket. But we couldn't get to play because the guys them until they went to England. The guy them started go to England, and then I became after police. I made 87